Hey, everybody. If I didn't confuse anybody with the change of the day, I've been doing these on um, Wednesdays because I have another thing that happens on Tuesdays. And this week that got moved around because of the MLK holiday. So I'm live on Tuesday. And so, hi. Let's see. Hey, Andy Wilson, how you doing? Can you hear me all right? I did not do a sound check before I started today, so just hoping for the best. Yeah, this is my pink Strat. What do you think? I've been wanting one of these for a long time, and here it is. I think it's pretty beautiful. It's shell pink. In this lighting, I don't know how much the pink comes across, but it's a really beautiful guitar. Andy, tell me some news or ask me a question. I always like for these office hours to be our shared time, not just me noodling or talking. So, what's on your mind? Tell me something or ask me something. Trying for something I can't really play. Is that playable? I think it's playable. There it is. Not. See if I can get that. No, I can't do it today. Stick with what I can do. Hey, Todd. Yeah. Yeah, Todd, I do have a Una. I haven't used it in a little bit. Um, it's a beautiful thing. It makes everything sound better. Uh, I especially like it when I'm running, a chain of pedals, and I guess that's why I haven't used it too much lately because I haven't been running a lot of pedals. And my pedal board is very compact, so um, things are always kind of bumping on and off of the board just due to space limitations and also, um, whatever the thing is that I'm doing that I need to pack the board for. But it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's really obvious when you plug in. It's just like everything sounds better. Um, I'm curious. Have you used it live or in the studio, or what are you doing with it? What's what how is it a tool for you? Um, I don't know. Andy says, "Oh, hey, Ben is here too. That's cool. Hey, Ben, I got a lot of information from your videos, and I don't have many questions. I'd rather ask you to sing a few songs with walking bass, something Broadway style, etc." Okay. Well, here's a song. It's not a real Broadway song, at least not yet. But it's a song that I wrote kind of in in the style of what I think you're talking about, and I don't mind singing it. Just getting all. I can. Can you hear the guitar? Okay, everything seemed balanced. I'm trying to show things so that you can see my hands, since it seems like that's what you're interested in. But I'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, it makes cleans so much better. For me, that's like the main joy of the Una pedal is that just if your guitar, even just your guitar to your amp, like I was talking about using it at the front of a chain of pedals, but you could just put it in front of your amp between the guitar and the amp, even if you don't play with pedals, and it would, I don't know, somehow like acts as a mediator. So sometimes it feels like the guitar and the amp don't really want to talk to each other, like they're not on the best of terms. Some days it feels like that. And the Una, I feel like, is a good mediator, and it gets them kind of united in their purpose. Okay, here's a song for Andy Wilson. Well, I can't change the course of a wandering stream. I can't tell the stars not to shine. I can't stop the world from spinning around, but I wish I could change your mind. I can't stop the swallows returning in springtime. The train on the Wichita line. I can't stop the lightning from striking the ground, but I wish I could change your mind. Uh, Once upon a time, you said you would be mine as long as the sky hung above. It's still not just the same, darling. What has become of our love? I can't stop the church bells from chiming on Sunday. I can't change the water to wine. I can't stop the light. I can't stop these teardrops that fall from my eyes. But I wish I could change your mind. I can't stop these teardrops that fall from my eyes. But I wish I could change your mind. So that's one for Andy. Is that the kind of thing you're talking about? Maybe I'll do one more. Uh, I can't give you anything but love, baby. That's the only thing I've plenty of. Oh, baby, dream a while, scheme a while. You're sure to find happiness, and I guess all those things you always pine for. Gee, I like to see you looking swell. Oh, baby, diamond bracelets were worth the sell. Baby, till that lucky day, I know darn well. Baby, I can't give you anything but love. Gee, I like to see you looking swell. Baby, a diamond bracelets were worth dozen sell. Baby, until that lucky day, I know darn well. Well, baby, I can't give you anything. I can't give you anything. I can't give you anything but love. Cool. Todd, you've got really good ears. Yeah. I wrote that song with that key change built in, so that it's a different key at the bridge. And then when it comes out of the bridge, the last A is a half step higher than the first two A's. So if you notice that, you got really good ears and you're paying attention, which I like. Uh, Ben says, love hearing and seeing the Strat. Recently dug my Strat out of the closet and I've been playing it a lot. I'm such a telly guy, but the Strat sure is fun. Yeah, it is fun. I got this last year and I really haven't played it hardly enough. It happened to land right around the time I got this Jaguar, and so for now the Jaguar is kind of holding the Fender place in my tone quiver. But I thought I'd play the Strat today just because I try to give all my guitars some love, and I feel a little clumsy on it, but I think that'll change. Played it for a couple hours this morning. Ben, what color is your Strat? I'm really curious. Oh, Todd, that's so nice of you. Thank you. Ben, I'm curious, what color is your Strat? I don't know if this comes across, but this is a shell pink Strat that I love. Combination of the shell pink and the rosewood board. To me, that's a classy combo. A lesson on that type of soloing would be cool. Maybe to have a series sounds great though. Okay, yeah, maybe I could do a lesson on that type of soloing for guitar tips. That would be a cool idea. I'm going to give you guys just like a quickie chord solo idea that you could play with. Of course, it would help if you knew all of your drop two voicings and all your inversions and stuff like that. But just like a good place to start, just that anybody could start wherever they are, I think, is that okay? I can't give you anything but love. I sing that in F. So you'd want to at least know on the high four strings these different inversions of F. So I'm playing F. I'm on strings 1 through 4. So F is here, and then there's an inversion here, and there's an inversion here. That's a second inversion, and then again back to root position. So root position, second inversion, first inversion, root position. And then when we're doing chord solos for tunes from that era, a lot of times I'll convert the triads to sixth chords because it gives them a little more complexity to the sound, a little more color. So then we can take this F and add the sixth here on the second string. So now I'm playing F, A, D, F. And then this F triad, you can add a D on the third string. So I'm playing A, D, F, A. So F, A, D, F, A, D, F, A. And then this one, we could put the sixth here. I suppose you could put it on the bottom. It's a harder grab, but you can do it. This is pretty easy grab. This is another possibility, but it's got a doubled fifth. I think probably the most natural one is just this one, and then up high again. So now we've got these sounds. And then from there, I just try to connect those shapes with some melodic connections. Like if if I want to get from here to here on the, I just need to harmonize this note. So I could just leave it alone. And that sounds pretty good. And then if you want to get this note, we can grab it from here. And if you want, like if you think about it, we could harmonize from what we've just done, the notes F, A, C, if we just go back to the triad, D, and F. So that's F, A, C, D. That's 4 of the notes of the major scale of the key we're in, F major. And then you've got these other notes, G, B flat, and D, which we could just pass through. And a lot of times that'll be fine, but if you want a little more weight on those notes, then you could just use a G minor 7th. So I'm going to alternate between F6 and G minor 7th. I cheated a little bit here. I wanted to harmonize this last note, this E. So I played a G minor, like a G minor 7 shell with E on top. It's a funny chord because it has the, if you're thinking relative to G, it's got the 7 and the 6. So it'd be like G minor 7 add 6. And then G minor 7 here. F6. That's another way that you could play this. F6 is here. I was playing it here. You can play it here. G minor 7. So another thing that you could do besides using minor 7th chords to pass through is you could use diminished chords. So it could be F6, G diminished, F6, G diminished, F6, G diminished, F6, G diminished, F6. So of course you have to make up melodies. Just knowing all these chords isn't really helpful. You have to play melodically. But let's see. So I explained what I explained accounts for maybe 15 or 20% of what I just actually played because um because honestly, I think that's about as much as music theory really accounts for most of the time, about 50 to 20% of what people actually play. A lot of what people play is explainable, kind of you could look at it and go, "Oh, I see. Well, that was this or that." But I don't think anybody's really thinking about it when they play. At least I'm not. And I love to think about I think about theory a lot, but not when I'm playing. So it's driven by what then? If it's not driven by what you what you know. I mean, it's what you know, kind of on like a deep down molecular level. But in the moment, the thing that my imagination was focusing on was melody, and trying to play melodies and then grab grips that hang off of those melodies. So that's the big idea. Um, if you're on my Guitar Alone Patreon channel, I would really encourage you to check out this lesson I did on a Count Basie tune called Splanky, and it's got a shout chorus, big band style. That's a lot of what this stuff is. At least that's how I think of it, as kind of a big band in my lap. So there's a lesson there about that you would want to check out. Oh, Sonic Blue. That's exciting, Ben. Honestly, when I first started thinking about this pink Strat, I was really inspired by. I got to play Ry Cooder's modified 1967 blue Strat that was for sale at Retrofret Guitars in Brooklyn a couple years ago, and I got to go play it. And that beautiful kind of faded pale color really excited me, and I didn't want to get one just like that. So I thought, well, what's a good complement to that kind of pale? That guitar is, whatever, 55 years old. It's probably not the blue that it once was, and so I wanted to get something similarly. And again, I don't know how much pink. I don't know how pink this looks on my camera, but it's pretty pale, and I think that's beautiful. And sort of thinking of it as a yin yang to the Cooter caster, and also my friend Molly Miller has this beautiful pink Telecaster, and I was thinking about that guitar too. Um, oh, the CME exclusive. Yeah, Ben, I can kind of picture that color. Does it have a matching headstock? Is it like that? I'd be curious. Okay, more questions. Michael Gorman, that's true. The Strat has such a broad range of options, and the neck makes you play differently to a two pickup guitar. Man, it sure does. For years, as a Gibson guy, mostly, I've mostly played Gibson guitars, and this is going to sound really silly to any of you who are Fender players, but before I started getting into Fender guitars, which really has been only in the last, 5 or 10 years that I've had. I mean, I've had Telecasters over the years, but I've bought them and then sold them and didn't really fall in love with them. But in the last 10 years, I've really started to appreciate what Telecasters do. But then I always thought from a distance, like, well, I mean, a Strat and a Tele is kind of the same thing, right? It's like bolt-on neck, single coil pickups. Okay, this guitar has three pickups and it has a tremolo. Like I can see that there's some differences, but it didn't. I didn't understand like why they were so different. A Strat and a Telecaster are really really different. Which if you think like, oh, a Les Paul and I guess you could say a Les Paul and a Firebird are really really different. Um, but I didn't get it. I get it now, and I'm catching up now. Trying. I guess I've got to just play the Strat every day, which I don't do. I've been playing my Jaguar a lot, and I've also just been playing a lot of acoustic guitar lately. But yeah, it's going to probably take me a few years to really get the hang of what this does. Especially right now when a lot of gigs are not happening. I tend to discover what guitars do on gigs more than in this, in my music room, because in my music room I'm kind of shy, and I don't like to play very loud. I don't like there to be a lot of sound pressure when I'm practicing. And then on stage, all that goes away, and I just go for it. And then I find out what a guitar can really do. So I'll have to get some gigs under my belt with this guitar and then get back to you. Michael Gorman. Oh, that was about the strat. Andy Wilson says, "How would you build an interesting melodic solo in simple harmony like D, F sharp minor, and B minor?" Let me see. Um, so you're talking, Andy, I think now not about a chord solo anymore, but more like if somebody was playing those chords and then you needed to play a solo, right? That's what you're talking about. Not a chord melody thing, but just improvising over that. I wish I had hooked up my looper, but I'll just see if I can kind of try to get this sound in your ear. Um, well, I'd hook up your looper. It's here, but I don't. It would take me a minute. I don't have all the cables out that I would need, but get your looper going and play the chords and work on it. If you're trying to go for something melodic, um, in a slow romantic song, let's see. I might start maybe just trying to get to the third of each chord. Already that's too much thinking and theory, but it's just a place to start. So check it out. One, two, three, four. It sounds a little square, but it's not bad. And then I would try to connect that. So I might go. By connect it, I mean go, you know, you could go from above the note. You're trying to get to the third of each chord. You could go from above it or below it. So here's below. And now here's above. One, two, three. I'm thinking ahead of what I was going to say next instead of focusing on the melody. But do you get the idea? Like that's just one simple strategy. If you're trying to play something pretty, thirds almost always are going to sound really pretty, and fifths are also not bad. You could kind of alternate thirds and fifths. So a third of F, a third of D, fifth of F sharp minor, third of B minor, fifth of G, back to maybe fifth of D because it's close, fifth of F sharp minor. Sorry, that's not the record. Third, fifth of D. Oh, it is the record. And then third of F sharp minor, same note. And then maybe stay on that note just to see what happens. And that's the seven of B. And now my ear led me to the sixth of G. So seven of B minor, sixth of G. Always let your ear lead you. Don't let your fingers lead you. And even don't let your mind lead you, because sometimes your mind would say, "Oh, you don't play the sixth. Go for a chord tone on that G, root third or fifth, or maybe seventh." But my ear led me there. Um, you know, that's a good way to do it. A thing that I've been doing lately, I don't know how fluent you are with Logic, um, but I've been using Logic. There's not really a great like jazz feel, but you can get some good pop grooves using the drummer in Logic. And what I'll do is I'll find a groove that I like, and I'll make an 8 bar loop, and I'll have Logic, make a loop of it so that it just repeats. And a nice thing about doing that instead of just playing with a metronome is that every 8 bars you get a drum fill, and that fill reminds you that we have to think in phrases. I mean, you could get a drum fill every 4 bars I think if you make a 4 bar loop, or every 16 bars if you do that or whatever. But it's nice. The Logic Pro drummer, you can adjust how complicated you want it and how much you want it to fill or not. Those are all parameters that you can adjust. But a drum machine, or I mean, yeah, a drum machine typically isn't going to do fills unless you tell it to, and a metronome is definitely not going to play any fills. And it's good to work that way because you start to feel what 4 bars and 8 bars and 16 bars feel like, and that's good because a lot of times that's the length of your solo, or at least one phrase of it. And also it makes you listen because you don't know exactly what the fill is going to be, and just like on a real gig, you don't know what a real drummer might do. You just figure something is going to be there. So um anyway, I that's what I've been doing lately for my when I'm practicing stuff like that. I like to have some kind of steady time going, but I've been using Logic Pro Drummer instead of a normal metronome thing. Uh, oh, my Korean fan. Hey, I'm a Korean fan. I decided to learn guitar. I saw you playing about 10 years ago. Amazing. Wow. Hello. Hello, THY. That's cool. Ben says, how should students learn inversions? I know my caged shapes. I know major 7, minor 7, dominant 7. I know some shapes you're using, but I don't know inversion names. Well, a good book that I like for working on inversions of all those types of chords is a book by Brett Wilmot. It's published by Mel Bay, and the name is the Mel Bay Complete Book of Harmony Theory and something. I forget. If anybody's got Google open in another window and they want to look that up and put it in the chat, I would really appreciate it. You could just Google Mel Bay Harmony Book, Brett Wilmot, maybe, or something like that. Complete Book of something something. That book really got me to understand all of those inversions of all of the 4-part chord types, because he uses them as really as like upper parts of bigger chords. So like, you would learn all of your F major 7 chords because they might be, say, the upper part of some D minor 7 chords. So you'd have to learn all of those, or even you could learn F major 7 flat 5 as the upper part of a G dominant. So you'd have to learn. I'm going to show that I don't really know these as well as I ought to. So I don't know if that's a specific thing in that Brett Wilmot book, but that kind of thing, like, so we would learn all of the 4-part chord types in every inversion, because there's lots and lots of exercises that he gives you where he just writes a melody and tells you the name of the chord, and you have to fill it in. You can either write in your book or just do it on the guitar. So that's a really good book if you're ready to do that homework, Ben, or anybody else. So that's what I would recommend. My CME is actually shell pink with a painted white headstock. It's a lot of fun. I dig MIM. Allows me to have more toys. Yeah, the Sonic Blue Strat is an older American standard, though. Okay. Andy, I hope what I did there was helpful. Todd says, I think it's really cool that you played a D on top of the F sharp minor. Man, Todd, you are a very, very sharp dude, Todd. Yeah, I did play a D on top of the F sharp minor. That's why I say follow your ears and not your fingers or your brain, because your fingers and your brain will tell you do not play D on top of F sharp minor. But I think your ears would be totally fine with it. Mine were, and probably nobody even noticed except Todd. I've recently discovered the beauty and mystery of the 3 chord. JT and Mark Knopfler mess around with that a lot. Yeah, the 3 chord. Don't sleep on the 3 chord. I guess people are afraid of it because they think it has to be this Phrygian sound, because that's, again, what we learn in music theory. And of course, that is a possibility. The 3 chord can have a beautiful Phrygian sound. So if we're in C and you go to E minor, if you're studying your modes, then you think, oh, wow. But if you're just writing a song, listen how beautiful that is. Like Paul McCartney does that in Silly Love Songs. And it's beautiful. Yeah, 3 chord is great. I'm trying to think of another example. Wild Horses by the Rolling Stones starts on 3, so it's in G, and it starts on B minor. And when you hear that B minor chord, nobody goes to Phrygian. That's not what's happening in Wild Horses. It's just kind of a way of kind of staying on one, but not staying on one, right? It's just kind of a lifted one. There's probably a million other songs that I'm not thinking of, but those are two that come to mind. Yeah. Uh, yeah, just exactly. The three chords are almost one chords and almost five chords. They're really interesting. Absolutely. Yeah. If you have modern chord progressions, um, Ted Green modern chord progressions, there's definitely uh, some three chord stuff just kind of peppered throughout. I don't think there's a chapter on here's what to do with the three chord, but just even in the simple idea in jazz of like 1 6 2 5 could be 3 6, and that just gives you more. Now I've left the whole idea of the three. I'm just playing. Okay, but now I've gone back to what could be a one, but I'm playing three. Oh yeah, and "You Are the Sunshine of My Life" has that too, right? Like, you are the sunshine of my life. Three. There's your three. That's a kind of a jazzy dominant sixth. Anyway, those are some three chords. Yeah. Hey, Martin. Thanks. Glad you like the guitar. Oh man, Steven, you made it here. That's great. Can you talk about a good backing track program to use and when practicing octaves? Yeah. I'll do a twofer because somebody else asked if I have used Drum Genius. I might like it. Yeah. Um, yes, Ben, I have used Drum Genius, and there was a time when I used it a lot, and yes, it's great. So, uh, yes, I recommend Drum Genius. Uh, so, yes. um, and then, Stephen, as far as like backing track programs, if you want to play Wes Montgomery tunes, his real tunes like D Natural Blues or West Coast Blues or 4 on 6 or any of those, I would get iReal Pro, and iReal Pro is pretty good. You can set the tempo, you can change up the groove. There's a lot you can do with it. It can be confusing at first because when you get iReal Pro, it actually doesn't have all the tunes in it. It just has some kind of exercise tunes in it, and then you have to import the songbook from this forum page. I'm sure if you just do some digging around on the internet, you can figure it out. But it, I've had a few students when I've said, "Oh, get iReal Pro," and they get it, and they're like, "Wait, there's no tunes in here. The whole point is to have tunes that you can play." And so iReal Pro doesn't provide the tunes, but there's iReal Pro forums, and you can get, I don't know, 1,000 songs or however many songs, basically the real book plus more stuff you can get in there, and then it becomes a really valuable tool. So That's what I would recommend, using iReal Pro. Uh, and then, as far as practicing Wes style octaves, um, yeah, learn a couple of Wes licks, and then just try playing scales in octaves. So this is a G scale. So I would start with just playing quarter notes to whatever tempo you're in. Just play up and down the scale on a couple of different string pairs, and then maybe try some simple syncopation so it starts to sound more like something that Wes or somebody might play, like so that's dotted quarter, eighth time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And then if you can do that up and down, then maybe I would try, those are, I would say, 2-note phrases. You could try a 3-note phrase like eighth quarter, eighth tide. So bum, 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 bum. So that's eighth quarter, eighth tied to a half note. One more time, 3, 4. And you can repeat this note so you don't run out of fretboard so fast. And come back down. Or you could try connecting things chromatically within the scale, like I'm skipping some steps, but start simple with octaves with Wes. Just play up and down a major scale, and then add some syncopation. Uh, uh, and then you could also do that with a minor pentatonic scale, like E minor. I was off by half step. So E flat minor pentatonic, say. Again, just quarter note or half notes to start. And then add some syncopation, like ba, ba. Repeat and then go up. And then maybe 3 notes. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Just simple things like that, and it'll start to feel more like music. So try that. Todd, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Stephen, I hope that was helpful. Everybody, I try to keep these to about an hour. So uh, let's let's see. Oh, Ben is asking, isn't a 3 chord a major 9 without the root? Yeah, that's you could see it that way. Um, I think the fancy people call it a submediant, I think. Uh, wa- man, Stas, these are really good questions. You chicken out of saying hello to me outside of Blue Bottle in Los Feliz. I'm glad to do it at least virtually. Oh man, that's a great question about songs in harmonic minor, but also it. Shoot, I try to keep these to about an hour, and that's going to get into more than I want to unpack at the moment. Let me see if I can give you just like a quick tip. So it's built around harmonic minor. Brilliant. Okay, I'll say this. I'll say this, and I'm going to give credit to Rick Beato because I heard him talking about something along these lines. Stas, stay here for a second, and I'll just one thing. I mean, I want to say more about this, but just a quick thing is think always be thinking about ways to resolve back to think about 5 and 1. So don't think scale. This is C harmonic minor. Just think in and out. So so maybe this is the rhythm, and so this is, I would say this is out, not out as in outside, just out, like that's the 5. There's the 1 and the 5. So in and out, I could think of more like tension release, but I'm just saying in, out. 1, 2, out. In. In. So just the short answer is don't think scalarly in harmonic minor. I know it is a scale. We learn it probably in 5 positions or 7, depending on how you think about the fretboard. But forget that you know it as a scale. The only real use I find as a scale is once in a while if you just want to go, and play a long scalar run. But it's called harmonic minor because it relates to the harmony. So think about what's happening, whatever song you're playing, and the chordal structure of that song, and make sure that you can not so much hit every change, but think about the 1 chord, and then can you in your lines imply the 5 chord and then resolve it back? And then the other move that you need to be able to do is 4 minor and then back. So here's 4 minor to 1. And here's 5 to 1. So 1, 5, 1, going to 4, 1, 5. Back to 1. So I'm thinking of almost like Django Reinhardt, like can't think of the tune that I'm thinking of, but if you can stay on C minor, go to G7 in your mind and bring it back. Go to F minor in your mind and bring it back. That's the 5 and the 4 minor. That's what you need to work on. Stop thinking about scales and just think about those movements. And almost all of the other stuff that happens in harmonic minor kinds of chord progressions could be reduced to go into the four or the five. So check that out. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Todd, you're awesome. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back next week.